Today is March the 8th, 2019, 1500. This Friday in Buenos Aires. I need to run a little bit what I wanted to know. You know, I have been so long. I am thankful to Google Corporation, YouTube Corporation, where you are found. I know you've been affording a lot further the problems and the way that naturally I came to be. In the so much, in the so reality, so long. Obviously, at the character of what the series wait for the whole we know, which ain't my condition, except for the suffer, what the condition is. One thing is a fact and one thing is just to taking in a real, which this matters and this is about. I suppose they would have the whole condition for one person, like disability, for doubtable, credible, or credibility, and for doubtable character as much one supposed demand, and as well the reality for the known capacities established for what it will be, upright and judgment for sane, as reality I be supposed, not ever. Since we began, which at the first and struggled with the sickness of Buenos Aires and then artifact, for the whole of the hubs that we've been working through in the beginning with the terrible English, with the whole of the normal pressure, with the whole of the normal disaster and the whole of the normal threat, that this came through and this came forward, and every time we've been struggled over what it was the Microsoft on MNS, and we've started working through Plus at Google Corporation. So in the whole of the aspects and realities of the whole of the ways in the whole I've been publishing, it's more than all as I apologize and saying that sorries so far for each as terms that denigrates the best of our try and the best of our focus, and denigrates the name that I am and I show in the whole I fought the same every person that joined us efforts and making the best ever that we have been building. For everyone, as normal understood, for wording I didn't communicate. I'm sorry for the word economy. It's gonna flash toilet, the person that is living in my address. Embarrassing everything, but more than everything, the embarrassing, untolerable. Really tiredness of a lot of other things. And so everything. So a lot of non-answers I've been receiving from a lot of people, and a lot of social activities and corporations, foundations, some professionals, and maybe a lot. And also people that, for the reason of the threats and much other, the way we've agreed with justice bodies, never have done one click for wording no best one, and neither any comments which for oversight it's a little bit restrained, and at the risk for less humanity, the way we know. I want to thank to every one of you for every moment further if the pains, the mistakes, or the wrong ways from any class, from the whole we've been through, each of us. I want to thank to the other side, to also Microsoft with Jan Brengel at what managing or management for what it is Microsoft US on the hubs, and also what it is that ENAC for accounts. And to Danny Brill from Google Corporation managing the complete of the reference of the whole legal affairs with liaison office and justice parties, US, Europe, Israel, Asia, Africa, Latin America. And also to Carl Eichelt, which is the manager for the whole of the activities, including YouTube. And to everybody has afforded enough to make the right job. We have been so suffered and so painful so often to build enough. The whole we've been doing. It's way too long and it's way too much, and we are still trying to finish the whole of the wars of the nightmares. And we've been through Armageddon, even though a lot of people didn't even breathe around the possibility to get that right. The sicknesses of all sicknesses, all organized by a common denominator, by a common sense, a common reality, from Masonry, Argentina. And the sickness of the whole of the seasons, in the whole of the ways, covering me for all of you to be dead and to be destroyed, wherever you are found, especially the people that would relate me, or having relation with. And the word, whatever the reference, as much this will worthily to be sustained and trying to rescue you from and putting you apart for you to not have no consequence and nothing to suffer, understanding what they've been doing and what they wanted to do and still through. This is supposedly a character for contraventionals and so much disgusting sickness of the abominable, not delusional or delirious, except for the what the faith introduces, and the aspect of they will be the power to respect, to life lessons to give, that permanently have been trying to make maneuvers between anyone to keep the endorsement and approval from any states, from liaison office, at the way of what it could conveniently accommodational or accommodable, for whatever the best ever try for arrangements, or any class of indemnities for the making the best of our treats and deal and truces, over me, over my dead, over yours. And also the reality of threatening and extorting if they will ever have someone at the handful to kill millions, thousands, billions, whatever to take. We've been through so much. We've been through real stages, and I have been put above them at the whole they've done to you and to me, like the cause of your pains, your suffers, and your words of angers and rages of me. Between that all so much more and so much further, that I were not trying to giving you some way for regarding, but trying to giving you for I care. And I'm sorry for everyone that were around suffering, that were not exactly what had happened, but exactly one process struggled for the reality of what the need to try to sustain and clarifying while no one and no else will die to take you away. I wanted and I wished I will ever have so much farther from all. I wished I would sharing so much more. I wish I would doing so much better. I wish I would giving you so much far than all we've done. And I wish I could really introducing the moment toward what this deservedly will ever be, to giving you some better than the whole I have been trying to. Once more, still the fever of the whole of the sickness in this land has place, and even though the whole of the sickness as most is already in hell, even the disgusting found all around seems to be like the answer for the hell itself. And it's exactly true. And an alienated pigeon may be at the fly around just best on my head, because it is exactly Argentina. Alienated hell. Now, about victims and realities, and about what this deservedly must happen and must at least having one considered. Point 4. It's exactly the real class of situations that ain't allowed, and I never say I would, or I said yes, never at all, or accept. So one thing is the truth that I said always no, but I have been forced, like so much other people, for things that didn't have to happen. And so much other snakes of hell and demons, pretentiously to be exactly the word they. In the whole of the name that I gave it, and the whole of the ID and identifiably reality that each is and were and will be, is exactly the class of sickness that will ever also presume that can really emulate the class of realities that we handle, understanding worthy and understanding our need, and how do we move and how do we do, that they will mix between for the keep the tradition. So toma. Now, one thing I'm telling you, I'm so sorry for all which were happening and ain't now. I'm so sorry for everything that I couldn't keep better and ain't now. I'm so sorry for the whole of the denigration, for the whole of the painful and ain't now. I'm so sorry for everything that I couldn't make it better and ain't now. And I wish I could really be doing something, or at least trying to making something, which could avoid so much and so long. Compromised the character of the whole we name, the character of the whole we embrace, the character of the whole we worth, the character of the whole values we behold, and we care and we got. Compromise the character of the whole we try, the best of our effort, the best of our moment, that we existentially have at the treasures, have at the matters, have at the care, have at the what is. And even though the sickness doesn't end, but there's an end for everything, and shouldn't be the worthy, no life, and no the real value. To everyone else have been fighting at the best next to the whole as we've been working through and avoiding people today. I'm so sorry. I really cared and I really do. And I really loved you and I really love you. And doesn't fall fields what the whole of the destruction and pain and crap have been through. Well, too much. And even though the best to try is still a sickness and an irritant, disgusting thing all over that I don't want even have for a damn breath of no hell, and no damn breath for no grave of the sickness, and neither graves from the ones that should never be around there. It's exactly for everyone that have been also making the try to understand and the try to fight for, and the try to make sense about and the try to holding sense through, and the trying to sense breathe for what this is or what to do about. That I wish you can even keep me much further and much better, even who've been around these accounts, whoever at the understanding sensed as much we are doing and we've done with justice refused, and life given to the rights who life will ever embrace, to remain through and to be with. And life can really embrace treasure and keeping, at the meant for, not at the sickness, which never were exactly the allowed or requested or came for, but what really is what we build. And it's exactly at everyone and everybody, from the first to the last, at the whole stratus, at the whole name, at the whole hate, at the whole reality, at the whole possibility, that I care for you and I love you and I love you and I'm sorry. I wish that you all please, and trying to giving as much at the other side and hoping that each as the last is to reach. If you don't want to hear it, you don't want to see it, understood. But at least to understand, I really wanted a different story. But doesn't mean that we cannot make it. And the clear fact of this soul, at the try of the best, not the best for the fight, and at the fight for the day, and the day to the night, at the night to the warm shelter, and at the shelter to the rising. Over the whole of the first lights, all horizons around what as paths we've been making with bridges for everyone to reach the safe place. That this is exactly not something that to be misunderstood, and that I want you to keep life and you have it. Further, my person, whatever it compromises me, I think it is a moment to understand that deservedly as rights to have. But the rights of each doesn't announce or destroys the rights of other or any others. And the sickness, rightless for whatever tribe, ain't space for, and don't you ever give in or to track what worth is for sickness, ever. I need so much the same a lot of other people, and surely all of you there. I said we will keep on working, and that is what I'm trying to do. Further my situation or whatever about me. And I want you, please, I ask you, please, be afforded to try the best. It were now at the pain and the destruction that never asked and never needed to be, and is enough for the whole of the sickness that never were allowed to happen. Don't you ever continue the class of situations that what the suffers and pains and hurt, wounds, and the whole of the destruction class. Don't you trap what is the best into something which it deservedly is exact. We have fucked the hell and the whole sicknesses and the whole abominations and the whole delictus and rampage and evilness and death. And even though once some want to have to go in a memorial moment for everybody to remind her to be at the best ever way for there to be a rest, where must be, and no at the destruction of a speed of abominables upon our names. I love you all so much, and I hope you all to be fine there at the other side. And I hope I could do enough what refers on what I wanted to and what I compromised myself. Not for simply accomplish what I want to, I care about, and I hope you can do fine enough. which necessarily is what we fought for. I love you all so much, and as best I can do. If there is something that I can help you,